Hello and welcome everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. I know we have a couple more people that will be popping on and joining us today. I just wanted to say hello and welcome you to another one of our webinars. We have Hughes Resources joining us today. For those that do not know me, my name is Maggie Littlefield. I'm the operations manager here for the chamber. And I just wanted to share quickly that the chat function, if you click at the bottom of your screen and click on the chat icon, you can use that to chat with us and or our presenters for today, or if you recognize a familiar name in the webinar with us today, go ahead, give them a shout out or say hello. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our executive director, Miss Amy Thurner.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today for another one of our webinar series, Safety and the HR Perspective. First of all, I hope you are all doing well and staying safe and healthy. We are all kind of getting used to our new normal, I know, so whatever that may be for you, I hope that everyone is handling it well. Today, my only task really is to introduce our speakers, and then I will be able to follow up with some questions. So like Maggie said, if you have one during this time, we will be monitoring that and put it in the chat box. So let's get started. Today we have Kristi Lambright. She is the branch manager for Hughes Resources. Kristi is the branch manager of the Beloit office that opened in September 2019. Prior to coming to Hughes Resources, Kristi spent over 25 years working in medically based fitness. As the branch manager, Kristi is responsible for conducting candidate interviews, communicating with clients, and developing community relations in the Beloit area. She currently serves on the Greater Beloit Chamber of Commerce Events and Programs Committee and has been involved in the Roscoe and State Line Chambers of Commerce. Kristi is a member of the Blackhawk Area SHRM and eWomen Network Beloit. In her free time, Kristi enjoys spending time with her family, camping, photography, and community theater. Also, we have Carolyn Mitchell. She's the Director of Sales and Marketing for Hughes Resources. Carolyn began her career in engineering and technical sales in Honeywell, and then moved into a similar role in her family's business before joining Hughes Resources. Since starting here, Carolyn has worn many hats from recruiting to sales, and from marketing to HR consulting projects. As the Director of Sales and Marketing for Hughes, Carolyn is responsible for overseeing the activities of our sales and marketing departments, including client relations, community involvement, and brand awareness. She enjoys partnering with local businesses and watching the magic of a perfect placement. In her free time, Carolyn enjoys yoga, boating at Lake Carroll, and connecting with friends, her husband John, and their 4 sons. Carolyn is a graduate of the Leadership Institution, Communications Chair of the Freeport Community Public School Fund, and a member of Rockford Area SHRM. And I do believe that Carolyn is actually going to be the one starting us out today. So welcome, you guys.
Hi, thank you so much. Good morning from sunny Cranston Road. It's great to have everybody with us today. A little bit about who we are over here at Hughes Resources, since we are newer to the Beloit region. For those who don't know, we are located on Cranston Road near the intersection of Cranston and Prairie by the Advia Credit Union. We are known as the People Professionals, so we are a full-service human resource firm. We help members of our communities find work. We help our partner clients find long-term employees, and we also do a good deal of HR consulting. We have 4 branch locations. We started in Freeport, Illinois. And then we expanded to the Sauk Valley region when we opened in Dixon, Illinois. We moved on to Monroe, Wisconsin, and then, as you heard, last September, we opened in Beloit. We are a 100% female-owned business and are celebrating 17 years as a key employer in our region. So a majority of what we do is temp to hire staffing. Many people think of staffing companies as temp agencies, but our sweet spot is actually finding long-term employment. So our placements are roughly 80% industrial and maybe 20% clerical, administrative, and professional. We also do HR consulting, as I mentioned. We can do staffing recommendations, employee handbooks. We will write and perform sexual harassment prevention training at your site if you need it. You name it, we can serve as an extension of your HR department. We offer a la carte drug testing services, background checks, and we also do facilitate skills testing for many of our partner clients for prospective or current employees. So with that, I will hand it over to Kristi. Thanks, Carolyn. Our approach incorporates 3 steps. Since we know that safety and workman's comp costs can be an employer's largest expense, because of that, I'm sure we are always trying to do things to keep our employees safe and lower those costs. So, like I mentioned, our 3-step approach is training our internal employees, working with our candidates and external employees with screening, training, and engagement, and then working with our clients with safety review, education, and developing a great partnership. Our internal staff goes through a 10-hour risk management training. And in this training, we have employment law, OSHA, workplace injuries, workers' comp, client safety. To keep these issues for our internal staff in the forefront, we have a different risk management topic each month. And we also have quarterly web-based training that follow up with a quiz that, of course, we have to pass. During the training, our aim is to educate the staff to recognize, resolve, or if unable to, use the resources that they've learned to work through these issues. Topics such as FMLA, ADA, sexual harassment, discrimination, and age bias are just a few of the ones that are included. Most of our company have earned the Certified Staffing Professional credentials. This means that by passing the exam, we have gained in-depth knowledge of employment law. For over 50 years, OSHA has been helping us ensure safe and healthful working conditions. Our staff is trained to recognize what training is needed at a client location that will help keep our employees safe. Topics include ergonomics, bloodborne pathogen, HAZCOM, GHS, fire prevention and protection, just to name a few. As we mentioned earlier, safety and workers' compensation costs can be among an employer's largest expense. Our internal staff is trained to look for red flags and screen our candidates for potential safety concerns and characteristics during our interviews. Minimizing injuries equals minimizing workers' compensation. It's a simple but important equation. Getting the injured employee back to work safely is a benefit to both the employee and the employer. So at the final end of step 1 is when we partner with our clients. So at the client facility, this is a place where we don't work full-time. So we have to create partnerships with clients that we trust. When our staff visits a client site, we are escorted around and trained to look for potential safety measures. We can look for things like machine guarding, eye wash stations, SDS info and chemical containers, ready available PPE. We also look around for possible hazards like slip, trip, and fall potentials, unguarded machines, noise level concerns, etc. All of this helps us ensure that our employees, once placed there, will be operating in a safe environment. It is our duty to provide that for our employees. So we often can get the feel for a client's commitment to safety with a plant tour. Then while on the plant floor, we are also able to have our teams observe the current employees working on the job and identify their safe practices and identify any red flags. In step 2, we move on to our candidates who eventually become our external employees, right? So we have a couple phases at which we screen our candidates. It starts with the interview. During interviews, we discuss previous positions. We can talk about why their past jobs have ended. Sometimes this brings up a discussion that may identify a red flag. We do background checks at Hughes. And because there is a correlation between workplace injuries and impairments, we also do drug testing. Some clients have specific skills testing that can ensure that a candidate is mentally or physically right for a position. So we are able to execute that as well. Once an employee is offered a job and hired, they will join in our onboarding process. During that time, all employees get general safety training. We also do sexual harassment prevention training at that time. We educate employees on safety pitfalls and what to do if they are a part of an accident. We partner with MedCorps, and that partnership provides every employee with a 1-800 number to navigate through a workplace injury. Sometimes we have injuries off shift where there's not a lot of supervisory staff, and it's helpful to have a professional on the phone right away. For some clients, we will go to their sites and do site-specific safety training if asked. The bottom line is just communication, staying in touch with all clients and candidates, checking in with everybody to make sure that they feel safe. Now on to step 3 of our approach to safety and compliance, and this is where our clients come in. Obviously, we partner with our clients. The internal staffing team and safety specialist from Hughes will perform a safety audit as we walk through the facility. This not only helps our staffing team learn the job for which they're recruiting, but we can learn from the clients where their focus is in the factory floor. We can also review previous accidents and injuries and take steps to prevent any future problems. Again, we can work with our client contacts to provide a safe working environment. Each year, we celebrate National Safety Month. So doing this gives us a chance to talk about safety and drive home the importance. We choose to celebrate workplace safety. It's a positive way to bring attention to it. The best way to get our employees' attention is to give out great perks, right? So we have weekly safety themes when we do this each year in June, and we give out prizes each week. So we work with our partner clients and ask them to identify who are the safest employees in the factory, and we give them a great shout out, give them a prize for rewarding good behavior. We can get feedback from our employees by anonymous site surveys. We push out safety themed blog posts, share with candidates and clients alike on our website and through social media. And this year, to top it all off, we are sending out a thank you, a heartfelt thank you card to all employees. We all know the past few months have been rough. So we wanted to take the time to say, thank you for great attendance, thank you for your hard work, and safe work. Our employees do this day in and day out, and everybody deserves some gratitude. Here are the themes for this year, our National Safety Month. So week 1, we are focusing on mental health. And this week we will spend time with our employees talking about mental health in the workplace, how to stay sane and avoid distraction and injuries. We all felt with COVID-19 and the resulting stress, this was probably of utmost importance. Week 2, we all know how expensive and long-lasting back injuries can be. So we are going to take time in week 2 to focus on lifting, lowering, reaching, and stretching to prevent back injuries. Week 3, we're going to talk about avoiding slips and falls. And then finally, we'll wrap up week 4 talking about lack of focus and awareness. So a lot of preventable injuries happen when we're just kind of zoning out. Again, with the stress of quarantine life, the tension in our communities, we felt this was not a bad time to remind folks to stay plugged in. So with that, I'm going to give it back to Kristi.
So I'm sure most of you have heard of this COVID-19 issue and are at some point looking for steps to reopen as Wisconsin's reopening, or as your company is reopening. There are great resources out there from the CDC to local and state governments. There's been some great webinars for the manufacturing organizations. But the National Safety Council has put together a really easy to understand essential steps for reopening. And Maggie will send this out when she sends out the PowerPoint presentation for you to have access to. So the first one is preparing the workplace. Identify locations where workers commonly gather in large numbers or they're in close proximities. Identify potential high-touch surface areas, zones, work areas, and develop a cleaning plan. When you return, prior to returning, and as you return, look at your HVAC and your mechanical checks. Change the airflow to allow more fresh air in from the outside. Preparing the actual workforce. Mitigate anxiety. As Carolyn mentioned, we took mental health as our first week for June Safety Month. Understanding and communicating with the employees on the plan. Developing policies for who returns to work, how, and when. And then again, employee communication, letting them know what's going on. Controlling the access. Create protocols for health and safety checks. Is your company going to do temperature checks? Are you going to do employee questionnaires? Building, reception, and workplace entrances. Do those need to be modified? Elevator cleaning. Is there a plan for essentially cleaning the elevator each day, each night? Plans for shipping and receiving areas for the incoming and outgoing products and supplies. And then visitor policies. Will masks be required? Will you not allow visitors? Will visitors be limited? Creating a physical distancing plan. We have all been trained at this point to 6-foot distance. So with that, look at decreasing the density. Talk about schedules, shifting those schedules, adjusting them so that people come in and leave at different times. And then looking at your office or your plant traffic patterns. Reducing touch points and increasing cleaning. Propping open doors that are approved to be propped open. We don't want to go against any fire codes, but propping open doors that can be, so it decreases the touching of the handles. Clean desk policy. Our desks scheduled to be sanitized nightly. The food and vending area. What's the plan for that? And then the cleaning plan for the common areas. And last, we had talked about communicating for confidence. We are all in this new norm and may not understand certain aspects of it. So recognizing the fear of the returning employees, offering mental health experts, offering personal protection equipment for use, being transparent with your communication, and listening and surveying your employees regularly. Ask them, how are they feeling? So with all of this, how do you build a great safety culture? All of our organizations, whether it be medical, retail, manufacturing, food, hospitality, we all have industry experts. We have national experts as well, the National Safety Council, CDC, OSHA. For your industries, look at your experts through their associations. What are they recommending? How are they going to plan for reopening and moving forward the new safety requirements? Create an internal safety committee. This could be a team of 2, this could be a team of 202. Looking at what COVID-19 has changed in regards to safety, looking at current safety procedures and developing new plans, and then communicating those plans with the staff, doing regular safety trainings, whether it be monthly topics or webinars or meetings, communicating those safety requirements to the staff. And make safety a priority. As Carolyn mentioned, we try to make safety something more fun as opposed to a necessity that everybody dislikes. So Thomas Sowell said, you get more of what you reward and less of what you punish.
I have an interesting story on that front. We visited a client, one of our clients in Seward, Illinois, between Freeport and Rockford. And we walked into the plant, the operations manager was about to take us on a tour. And the first thing we did was walk into this beautiful Harley Davidson motorcycle. And I said, hey, what's that? You guys build Harleys here? No. He said, that is our safety prize. He said, we have a very rigorous safety program here. And there has been a year-long competition for safety elements in their factory, and there are goals and measures, and somebody in this plant is going to win this Harley at the end of the year. And I thought, wow, what a way to walk the talk. So this company was focusing on safety, and they put their money where their mouth was. And we knew that was going to be a great place to send people to work, a safe environment, because the company was focused on employee safety. So walk the talk, right? With that, I believe we are wrapped up with what we were going to present. If there are any questions, I believe you can chat them in the chat box and Amy will share with us.
Or I just asked if anybody had anything. I'm not seeing anything coming through as of right now. I thank you so much, you guys. I find it so interesting what you guys do. I guess I didn't even know all that Hughes Resources did until today. So that was really interesting to learn about. And then of course these COVID guidelines, I always learn something new when it comes to all these things we are supposed to be doing. So yeah, thank you very much. Does anybody have any last minute questions? Okay, not seeing anything coming through. Do you guys have any last remarks?
No, you can certainly find our emails. Kristi is Kristi@HughesResources.com. I'm Carolyn at HughesResources.com. So if anything comes up or anybody has any question, feel free to shoot us an email.
Perfect, and we will get these slides to our attendees. And then I just wanted to add one last thing before we all log off and maybe enjoy some lunch. We have decided to go virtual for our annual meeting. For those of you who didn't see, it is on June 30th at noon. Registration is now open on our website at greaterbladechamber.org. It is a free event to members, $75 to non-members. You will be given the option, of course, to make a donation to the chamber, but it is free to all members to come and listen with us on June 30th. We will have our original speaker, Quint Studer, will be on, and then also we will have a video for the second half celebrating our award winners this year. So something I think you don't want to miss, and you can do it in the comfort of your own home or office. So with that, I think we will say goodbye, and thanks again, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.